Greetings and welcome back to Xcom Enemy Within and to Dr. Vallon's research department, where we are about to be spending some time doing autopsies. Now, we have two autopsies to do, the Sectopod autopsy and the Muton Elite autopsy. Both creatures were in the base game, that is Xcom Enemy Unknown, so I'm not sure how much different stuff we're going to get from that, and I'm fairly certain that we've got most, if not all, of the genetic modifications, so we can't even expect any of those. But we're going to start off with the Sectopod because it's easily the most frightening and also most interesting of these two aliens. The engineering advancements found in this machine are remarkable. The joint articulation, weapon system, and targeting capabilities in particular are well beyond current military developments on Earth. The practical applications are staggering.
This heavily armored unit is fully mechanized, though we're still not sure if it has an organic component within.
I must have remembered that bit from the original. I thought they were organic in some way. Is that it? Oh, okay. Codename Halcyon. Although this robot is neither alive nor sentient, it is strangely self-aware of its surroundings, though I find that statement a little bit odd, to be perfectly honest. Self-awareness is not a requirement of being alive, nor is it a requirement of being sentient, as far as I'm aware myself. And yeah, that's a very unscientific thing to say, coming from a scientist. We're still uncovering the functional details of this species, but from what we've seen so far, this machine is a masterpiece of technology. Based on our initial testing, we've discovered an extremely intricate program that's implanted in the macro processors. This combat control program, combined with the Sectopod's imposing 10-meter frame, makes for an extremely dangerous weapon. Powered by the same energy source that fuels the alien craft, these machines wield unparalleled destructive power. Perhaps not the biggest mystery is the secret of how they're being controlled. Really? You've just said it's a masterpiece of technology and that it's strangely self-aware. Is it too much of a leap to think, well, it's got some sort of limited AI? It isn't controlled directly, it's just given an order and it carries it out. Additional information regarding the specimen's tactical abilities may be available in the field if another of these machines is targeted. They will be, I'm absolutely certain. Advanced construction project available in the foundry. The advanced fabrication process that the aliens used to build the Sectopods could be repurposed to accelerate Xcom's vehicle and facility construction at a significant cost, of course. Now, the interesting thing there is it looks like they've added like a construction arm and little arms as well. Little T-Rex arms. Oh, that's fantastic. I want one. Now, the Muton Elite autopsy. As if its heightened muscle density, hardened skin, and redundant organs weren't enough, the aliens appear to have neural implants that facilitate command and control functions. Given the circumstances, this specimen would appear ideal for guard duty, though that's a bit of
As if the standard Muton hadn't given us enough trouble, the aliens apparently kept several of these elites in
newbie mistake, the aliens. Got to be honest. If I were running some invasion of another planet, I wouldn't send my weakest forces first and allow the indigenous species to basically get used to fighting us against the ones that they had some small chance of defeating and then gaining my technology. No, I'd send my strongest troops first. Just them. If they died, then clearly sending my weaker troops after them wouldn't have helped anyway. So I just leave with my weaker troops intact. And maybe I'd train them up to my stronger troops. Or I'd put them in recycling centers and mush them down and then build stronger troops out of them. I mean, it all depends on what they're made of course, and how attached I am to my minions. But suffice it to say, I'd start with the strong troops, and if that failed, I'd simply leave. Aliens, you have much to learn about conquering planets. Codename for this report is Imperial. As if the standard really, are you reusing your lines, Dr. Vallon? Yes, you are. Although they seem to have the distinct honor of serving as guards within the alien hierarchy, again, how do you know this? It's not like we interrogated one, we just had its body. Our autopsy of this specimen reveals little in the way of distinguishing anatomical traits versus the typical mutant. Aside from various improvements to their armor, the primary difference appears to be a slightly enhanced intelligence, which makes them more effective combatants. The details surrounding this creature's specific combat capabilities should be available during future encounters by targeting the one in the unit analysis view. Plasma weaponry research credit earned. I think we already had that from interrogating a mutant. Now, with that in mind, as See, I'm torn. The guided fusion launcher, 7 days, 75 weapon fragments, 10 Elite, 20 allies. That would be a fantastically powerful weapon to give Aavak. On the flip side, we've got the plasma sniper. 10 Elite, 10 allies, 50 weapon fragments, so less weapon fragments, and we're limited by those typically. Plasma weaponry is finally uncovered a fault in the design. The plasma bolt itself begins to dissipate at extreme range. When we have several theories as to how the issue might be overcome, and if successful, the result would be a sniper rifle of unparalleled power, and we're getting the research credit there. Because this is so fast, I think we'll do this one before the guided fusion launcher. And because this one takes the less weapon fragments of the two. The thing is at the moment, Cerberus isn't guaranteed of getting a kill, but if he could be, or at least a little bit closer to that kind of guarantee, you're never going to have that guarantee with damage roulette, but if you were a little bit closer to it, with his in the zone, it would be staggeringly powerful. That said, if this was a little bit sooner, not a whole week worth of research, I probably would have gone for the guided fusion launcher first, because at least that isn't subject to damage roulette. But we're going to be going for the plasma sniper rifle first, and then the guided fusion launcher after that. So, job, Dr. Valen. Don't let us down. Now, whilst you're looking at that, let's go to build facilities. Now, there are a few facilities that I want to build. First and foremost, the Psionic Lab. This facility will allow us to discover and develop the latent psionic abilities of our soldiers. If they have any such capabilities, using them in the field will increase their strength. Now, my particular second wave options means that it's not as easy to predict who's likely to have them. You could never predict who would, because there was always a slight random chance, but it was heavily biased towards having them if they had a high will, and heavily biased against them having it if they had a high rank. So having a high rank and a high will, the high rank would tend to make it less likely, rather than the, you know, it wouldn't cancel each other out. The high rank would still have an overall stronger negative effect on the chances. But now I believe it's completely random. It's just assigned when you get the soldier whether they will have the secret little flag that says they can be psionics. So it's going to be interesting to find out who does and who doesn't. So we're going to go for that one first. That is a lot of money to spend, but it's absolutely worth it. Now, the next thing, I'm hoping that the Psionics Lab will have an adjacency bonus with laboratories. It might not. The Genetics Lab does, but the Psionics Lab might not. However, I've been thinking a lot on how I'm going to switch up the way that I've got the base set up. And I think one of the things I'm going to do is, first and probably foremost, I'm going to place another workshop down here. We want that extra refund on things, and also more engineers mean that we'll get things built faster. That is obviously a concern with the firestorms. So begin construction. It's actually quite cheap as well. Doesn't take much power either. But on the note of power, we've got our power generation kind of spread around, and I would like to centralize it a bit. So we're going to build another Elerium generator. Now this is going to take pretty much all of our remaining money. Wow. Not even close, but we're going to be left at 99. It will give us an enormous amount of power, but the reason why I want that is so that once that's built, I will remove these 3 power generators. What I'm thinking is that I'll extend the laboratories up here. I already know that the Genetics Lab will have an adjacency bonus, so I can put another laboratory there. And possibly a workshop there. So we'll have this long line of workshops with adjacency bonuses, this long line of laboratories with adjacency bonuses, assuming that that one does have one. At that stage, over here in this gap there, I'm thinking of building a satellite nexus, which is better than one of these. With that built, I'm strongly considering then getting rid of this one and building another satellite nexus. And at that point, I can get rid of these 2, have more workshops along the top, and I'll still have room for 2 super facilities. I think there's only 2 more facility types in the game, and I don't believe they have adjacency bonuses. But that could change, obviously, with enemy within. But that would be the plan. At a pinch, I could use the space up here for additional super facilities. But that would give me a very good spread of research potential, manufacturing potential, and all of the special stuff that I would need. And I think these 3 would have enough power to run it all. I'm not 100% on that, so I would have to check, because I might not have enough power there to get rid of these 2. In which case, I could always put another Elerium generator there and just get rid of those 2 then, and just not worry too much about changing the uplinks. I'll have to think about that. But for now, I think that's good enough. So, let's go and pass a little bit of time. Got Advanced Repair in 2 days and Plasma Sniper in 3. What are we going to get? We've got the Advanced Repair Project. Fantastic. 3 alien alloys and 1 Elerium were given back, and 17 Ultra Super Megabucks. Right, Plasma Sniper research complete. Let's check this out. Now, codename Osprey. With the Plasma Sniper rifle available for manufacture, perhaps it was inevitable that we eventually be called upon to develop a weapon of this kind, just as we did with the advent of laser-based weapons. By concentrating our efforts on a single, focused discharge of plasma and ignoring some of the previous design constraints regarding size, weight, and rate of fire, we've developed an extremely lethal long-range weapon. Our snipers will undoubtedly be pleased with this weapon's ability to devastate hostile targets from previously unheard-of distances. In any case, this weapon is now ready for fabrication in the engineering. Now, I would have imagined they would have built prototypes of this weapon before they settled on the design. What I would love is if, when they finished that research, you got the one prototype. You had to build any more, but that one prototype was yours. That would be grand. Ah, that is not grand. We must have less than 75 weapon fragments remaining. Wow. That is quite a disappointment. Damn it. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to go for the alloy cannon. I was briefly considering that when I noticed that I couldn't get that, but no, because that would use up the 40 weapon fragments we have there. I'm going to save up for the guided fusion launcher. However, in the meanwhile, I think there's nothing other than that. There's nothing else I really want more than the priority, which is the beacon that recovered from the alien base appears to send and receive transmissions using a spectrum of energy unlike anything found on Earth. I can only imagine what we'll find after further study. So begin that project.
Had an influx of new developments recently.
Okay.
Well, the Sectopod commander is an intriguing subject.
It is indeed.
I have to admit, this device has also captured my attention.
Oh dear. Typically things that capture Dr. Vallon's attention are in for a fairly rough time, but I'm not sure quite what an inanimate object would have to fear. I am confused, a little bit curious, fairly afraid. Yes, moving on. Now, let's find out how much do these things cost. No. Oh, no, okay, haha. I was thinking, damn it, does it need, like, weapon fragments? But no, it just needs a lot of money. I'm certain we can get a lot of money. Let's quickly get a lot of money. You know what? I'm going to take all of the corpses down to 6. I can't remember ever seeing more than 5 be requested, but just in case, we'll drop everything to 6. Drone Rex as well. No, not Drone Rex as well. I don't know. Petrie's corpse may be among them. I know people say that it's still about the base, but I haven't seen him. And until I see him with my own eyes, I'm going to assume that he's dead. I'm going to mourn. And thus, I'm not going to sell any Drone Rex. We're going to build a little pyre. Now, someone else also wanted me to check out the alien food. This slurry of varying genetic material has a considerable nutrient content and could be used to provide sustenance to the aliens. Unfortunately, this mixture also contains several key markers indicating the presence of human DNA. Well, I mean, I don't know why we're all in a tizzy about them eating us. We don't eat us because it's not healthy for us to consume us. I mean, you know, aside from the whole prions thing, but it's not healthy for us to consume us because we're just not very good meat to eat. So if the aliens are brave enough to chow down, by all means. It's not like we have a use for them when they're dead, though I guess they are actually making them dead. Yeah, proactive in their food gathering. I admire and disagree with your practices, aliens. Okay, let's move on from that. I don't want to know about that, Bradford. Right, we're going to sell the alien surgery. Although rudimentary in appearance, this device must play some role in the aliens' unconscionable experiments on the human captives housed here. Right, well, we'll get rid of those. We don't need them. Seeker Rex down to 6 as well. And you know what? At this point, we've got better than all of the Exalt stuff, even their lasers. So we're just going to keep one for, well, sentimental value more than anything, I suppose. And that gives us quite a lot of money. So let's complete that transaction and immediately go and build ourselves a plasma rifle. Now, by modifying our current power system to hold a greater charge, we've developed a plasma rifle capable of delivering an extremely powerful shot that will greatly increase the odds of inflicting critical damage on hostile targets. Fantastic. It costs a lot to make. Weapon can only be used by sniper-class soldiers on staff. 11 snipers, my lord. Well, we couldn't build 2 even if we wanted, but yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Now, since we can't easily see what the... Let's go check out the actual stats on this versus the old one. I hope this is a big upgrade. Now, the old one has 5 to 7, 30% critical, 9 to 11 critical damage. Exalt Advanced Laser Sniper Rifle indicates that they have access to engine, blah, 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 blah. Now, the Plasma Sniper Rifle. 8 to 10, so a bit of an upgrade on the base damage. Huge upgrade on the critical damage, though. And the critical chance goes up by 5%. The deadliest sniper rifle Xcom can engineer. Unlike other weapons, sniper rifles are less accurate than, as the shooter's range to the target decreases. Snipers cannot move and fire in the same turn unless trained appropriately. Consider equipping snipers with the best pistols Xcom has so they can fire even when forced to move. So, let's just check that again. 5 to 7, we've gone up to 8 to 10. So a base increase of 3. Now again, that doesn't really make that much difference for damage roulette, because in the base game you would always get 8 to 10. We'll get 1 to 10, or rather 1 to 15, I think. On a critical, we will get the base damage, so 8 to 10 guaranteed. It's potentially not as great. That is, on a critical, we'll get 8 to 10 on top of whatever we roll. So but there's potential for it to be much, much higher. For example, if we got, say, 10, and we'd also managed to get a really good base roll of 10, then we'd be doing 20 damage. Though it's potential for base damage, I think, to be up to 150%. So there's a potential for my base damage to be 15 plus 10. So, you know, damage roulette can give you much higher highs, but it can also go all the way down to 1s, as you've seen numerous times. Much to my dismay. Now then, actually, since I'm in here, you know what? I'm going to continue taking... I was going to say I may as well give Randy Bear her mech suit back, but I think I'm going to continue taking out Yuri with that mech suit, and we're going to continue working on leveling him up, because it's practically safe for us to do that. Unlike a regular rookie, or squaddy as the case may be, he starts out with incredible amounts of HP, good defense, and phenomenal combat potential. So yeah, the mech troops are the ones that benefit the most from low level getting the big suits, I think. But that's all we need to do for now. Let's go ahead and pass a little bit more time. We've only got 3 days on the Hyperwave communication. 2, 1, yay! Okay, let's check this one out. Now then, research report, codename Tachyon. Although we've studied a number of unusual pieces of alien technology up to this point, the equipment recovered from the alien base on Earth is amongst the most cryptic. When we first encountered this device, it appeared that the sectoid commander was somehow interacting with it through a non-physical link, using some type of mental telepathy or another equally mysterious form of communication. Having now studied the device further, we believe this is undoubtedly the case. Our tests have revealed a pattern of signals being transmitted at a wavelength never before associated with any form of communications or electronic transmission. Although we should not be surprised at this point by the advanced nature of alien technology, this particular discovery is a bit unsettling. As far-fetched as it may seem, several members of the research team have theorized that this device may be capable of transmitting and receiving signals beyond our own dimension. The implications of this possibility affect all areas of known science, and perhaps most alarmingly, indicate that the sectoid commander may have been receiving signals or orders from a higher authority. While continuing to analyze the transmissions we've detected, we've also moved forward with our attempts to interface the device with our own satellite communications network. If my suspicions are correct, this beacon may provide us with a means of detecting previously unknown contacts. So there we go. Right, we can now make the Hyperwave relay. Alien communications rely on a supradimensional wave, which travels almost instantaneously. This relay should allow us to trace the source of these communications. Use the build facilities option in engineering to construct this facility. Okay. Now then, what are we going to work on next? Again, I don't really want... Ooh, ghost armor is showing up. Based on our continued study of the hyperwave phasing phenomena we've witnessed in the labs, we believe it should be possible to develop an armor kit mirroring these unusual properties. If successful, anyone wearing this suit would be extremely difficult to detect. Basically, this is a suit that allows people to become invisible. I think it has a limited uses per mission. You never lose the suit, but it can only like activate its ability, I think, 3 times in a mission. And for a turn, that sort of becomes completely undetectable, becomes stealthed. I think it becomes stealth even if it's in sight of the enemy, though I could be wrong on that. So it would still have application, even for our mimetic skinned troops. But at the same time, it's not as useful now that we have mimetic skins. So I'm thinking of the two. Although this does have some really nice defensive properties. Let's go ahead with Archangel Armor, because this has enormous combat potential when equipped with a sniper. With our unique access to the aliens' super efficient power systems, we believe it should be possible to fabricate a suit of armor that permits sustained flight on the battlefield. So begin that project. It'll take 6 days. Right. Let's head over to build a facility. This is turning into a bit of a base episode. Hyperwave. Oh, we can already build it. That's fantastic. Oh, it's not actually that expensive. 10 allies, 1 hyperwave beacon, which is just as well. We've only got 1. Alien communications and blah, 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 blah. We will be able to... I think this will allow us to see exactly what a ship is and what races are present on a ship before we intercept it. But we're going to build one. We've got the power, though we're starting to get a little close to our power cap. And that leaves us 1 space at the moment. We have got a lot of facilities building. This has been a very big base upgrade episode. But looking at the time, I actually think I'm going to leave it there. We've got 4 days on the Firestorm. We have 5 days on the improved Arc Thrower, 5 days on a workshop, and 6 days on Archangel Armor. So the next week is actually going to have quite a lot of things happening. And then after that, Psionic Labs, Elerium Generator, Council Report, and the Hyperwave Relay will be done after the Council Report. When we have that Psionic Lab, I wonder which of our crew will actually be psionics. It would be fantastic if all of our gene troops have the ability to be psionics. They are the only ones that can be tested. The only person I can say absolutely will not is Brandy Bear and Yuri at the moment. They are incapable of being psionics once they've been augmented. I don't understand why. That didn't make so much sense to me. It would have made more sense if the gene-modded troops couldn't be as well. Because then it would be, well, humans are the you know, unaugmented humans are the only ones that can be psionics. And that's the trade-off. That's why you would keep some unaugmented humans in your party. Instead of just making everyone into mechs or into gene-modded troops, provided you had the meld. But gene-modded troops can be a psionic, which, in combination with their other abilities, makes for ridiculously OP troops, or at least I would assume so. But it's just a shame that we can't have mech psionics as well, because, well, again, it would make them OP. But I will leave you with a shot of possibly David Powell eating the bar. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode and will be joining me in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.